Hey, the Bulls are hot. They've won 2 in a row. Hopefully they can stretch it out to 4 games this week with contests coming up against the Charlotte Hornets and then a trip to San Antonio to see Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. Welcome into a brand new episode of the Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast. We are all in studio, and we almost had a national emergency. I pull up in the parking lot, and I see Tim unloading his car. He's got a case of Modelo. He's got some apple cider. Some margaritas. You want to make sure the show is going to be good on a Tuesday night.
Well, you got to have show lubricant. That's part of the deal. And when the kegs were empty, I almost panicked, ran out. Stacey got on my case just last Friday over not having any cider, and he had to drink a beer, which was very, very upsetting for him.
Yeah, but it was pretty good, though. What was it called? The bubble head, was it?
Gumball head.
Gumball head.
Yeah.
So, it was pretty good. It's pretty good crap.
So Tim gets the award for the team player this week to run out to the liquor store and make sure that we've got
the
some
Charlie
beverages.
Hustle Award. I call it the Charlie Hustle Award.
Yeah.
Jeez, thanks a lot.
You got to bring something to the show. Come on, man. You got to bring something to the show, man. It's not all about your good looks.
I brought the sauce.
Oh.
So Stacey, you got a couple of days off. That's been pretty rare this year. The schedule's been brutal.
You know what, Mark? They were needed.
Yeah.
Okay, we had 3 days off, and I needed to recharge the batteries, and just chill, get some work done around the house. I don't do a lot of that. I got a lot of people doing stuff for me, but I decided to do some stuff on my own.
There you go.
Yeah, I want everybody out of the house. I don't want nobody next to me. I just want to have loneliness and play my music. I listen to Al Green, Barry White, The Temptations. Back into the old Motown days.
Let's stay together.
You know what? Listen, see, we've given these kids too much freedom to just pop in and jump in. Now they have microphones now.
Careful now.
Fran's got a microphone. Yeah, see, no, everybody can hear you. Well, you need to ask, can you come on? Don't be interrupting me. You just can't pop in. You're like somebody's wife, just popping in, talking when you don't need to be talking. Come on, man. Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Oh, wow. Okay, we're done.
So since you've been home for a couple of days, you haven't talked about your dogs in a while. How are they doing?
They're doing good, Mark.
Yeah.
They miss me. I have one of my sons living there, and takes him out for walks and stuff when I'm out of town, saving me some money. I don't have to pay the dog sitter. Dog sitters get expensive. But he's been able to be there, take care of the dogs, and they're getting big. They just turned 3 years old. So they're growing. They're still doing some puppy stuff, but they're fun. They're good dogs.
Is Coby still a bully in the house?
Yeah, he's a bully. He's the ultimate bully. He's bullying everybody. Bullies all the neighbors' dogs who walk. All the neighbor. It's funny because my dogs own the block. That's their corner. So when people walk by with their dogs, Coby makes them go to the other side of the street. And it's so funny because it's like if people knew, he looks menacing, but he's just he's little, he's short, but he looks powerful. Yeah. But if they really knew, he's
built like a linebacker.
Yeah, he's built like a linebacker, bodybuilder, but he's the cowardly lion. Put him up. When Toto bit him, and then he's like real soft. If they knew, that's why I told my son the other day. I said, if one of those dogs nipped him on his nose, I said that would be the end of his charade as being the toughest dog on the street.
Charade.
Yeah, it's a charade. He had a lady. Oh, I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. So there's this man, an Asian gentleman. He walks by the fence sometimes and teases the dog, teases Coby. He'll put paper out there and tease him, And dogs have a memory. So about 2 weeks ago, him and his wife were walking from the store. They were walking from Whole Foods. And so they were coming on our block, and it was dark. Look, it was getting dark. And Coby was hiding behind a tree. He didn't bark or anything. It was really rare because I was watching him. I said, Coby normally barks when he sees people, but he's not barking at these people. I don't know why. So as they get closer, the man goes by. The wife has a bag full of groceries, and he just and she dropped the groceries fell, eggs fell, and I literally got up off my stoop and ran in the house and just cracked up because it was so funny. And then I remembered because the reason why he did that was because the husband is always teasing him. He thinks he's playing. I had to tell the guy, hey, man, stop that. Don't do that. And so he's like, tease him. So Coby remembered and got a serious payback.
Jeez.
It was hilarious.
The whispers, you were telling me that you haven't been to Fort Myers in a while. You bought that nice place down there. You never get down there.
Nope. You guys better get down there and use it. I don't get an opportunity.
Don't have to tell me twice. I'll be there, buddy.
Yeah, I know. Like you showed up last time on your commitment. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, nice move.
I was coming. It was All-Star break.
Yeah, you were doing something, but it wasn't. It wasn't getting to Fort
I was
Myers.
coming to Fort Myers. It was over All-Star break. We all agreed to go. All our buddies were going to meet up there. And then it was like lost in translation. Some people forgot. Some people didn't call Tim. So it was like, I just assumed no one was going.
So you were down there by yourself. Huh?
Yeah, but what's great is we had this meeting about a month or so ago. I think you saw the pictures.
Yes.
We're all going to meet down there again this year. I'm guessing one guy's not going to make it.
I will be there. No. I will be there because I'm currently looking at property at Fort Myers. So so I definitely want to go down there. I want to see what it's like because we have our close knit group of friends. We'll have a ready-made community when we go down there. We'll have like 10 people living in Fort Myers. Like we'll be like Cocoon. Like we'll all be down there just getting old together. Yeah, it's like old people. We have our own little community. Play paddleball and all kind of stuff.
I'm right next to Skip.
Yeah, he's right next to Skip.
Literally, if I jump the wall, there's a wall between us. I jump the wall.
That's how close he is to one of our friends. And they didn't even know it. Like I didn't know you lived behind that wall. I didn't know you were behind that wall. So they found that out last week. And we're a close knit group. We call ourselves the Hangover Crew Boys. We go on guide trips without the wives. And so we all agreed to move to Florida at some point of our lives. So it's coming up now. It's coming up now as we retirement age is starting to come up. And so I'll be down there looking at property. So I'm gonna go down there during All-Star break and hang out there with Tim. And I'm not serving hors d'oeuvres or anything like that. We always that's why I don't ever want to go over there.
I still got your tuxedo t-shirt ready to go.
See. No, not coming.
Hey, Whispers, I was watching the Sunday night game, Packers and Chiefs. I was thinking about you when Lucas Van Ness got the sack. Of Mahomes.
That was a great sack.
Yeah,
I mean, he really chased him down.
That was quite an upset. I mean, the Green Bay looked
Huge
terrible
upset.
early in the year. Now I think they won 4 out of the last 5. It looks like Jordan Love has shown some signs of potential there.
Yeah, he is. But that's Lucas's second sack of the year. His first one was Justin Fields.
Okay, well he'll get another chance last game of the year.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, I tell you what, hey, that was a huge upset.
Yeah, it was.
I'm gonna tell you right now, Kansas City is in trouble. They do not look like the same team.
No offense.
And every sense, listen, the receivers drop too many balls. They're off. They're never on the same page as Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes does a lot of stuff off the cuff. He's constantly improvising the offense, and so those guys are not used to that. You got to kind of simplify their routes for them. But Travis Kelce, I don't care what nobody says, it hasn't been the same since the Taylor Swift situation, dating Taylor Swift. Seriously, she might need to stay away from games and let him focus on football.
She was there Sunday.
Yes, and you can tell. Okay, and listen. I just think it's too much pressure on the kid. Just leave her. Tell her, hey, honey, I'll see you afterwards. Stay at home.
Power of the patch. It'll mess you up. Oh, sorry. Too early in the show?
Too early, man.
All right.
Yeah, we're doing this Tuesday evening to accommodate a number of people's schedules. Stacey's going to have to go to San Antonio later this week. That kind of came out of nowhere. I'm sure that's the last thing you want to think is, I got to get on a plane, go to San Antonio.
Mark, I was looking at the schedule, and since we got knocked out the tournament, I was like, oh, man, we're going to have like
Get a
7,
week
8
off.
days,
Yeah,
a week off. I was all excited. I was planning to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And then Adam said, hey, no, we got to work Wednesday, Friday. I said, who got to work Wednesday, Friday? It's not on the schedule. He's like, no, they're going to add a schedule. They're going to add one team in the East and one team in the West. For all the teams that didn't make the play-in tournament, we have to play just like everybody else.
So you didn't get that memo?
No, I didn't get that memo.
Oh,
Because I honestly thought before the season started, we might be at least playing in this round here, trying to get to the trip to Vegas. I thought we were going to be good enough to do that, but we didn't do it. And maybe if we've been playing like we've been playing the last couple of games, maybe we would have been there.
Hey, it's looked like a different team last couple games.
Man, I'm telling you what, man, give these young kids a lot of credit. They understand. This is audition for them as well. Because there's talk about blowing this team up and which young kids are going to keep, and they came ready to play. This is something they probably should have been playing a long time ago. What I was interested in seeing is how DeMar would fit back in there. After missing the first game and how well the team played, the ball moved, 30+ assists. The pace of the game was where Billy wants the pace. Good, solid defense, and so I was really concerned. How is DeMar going to fit in? But I know DeMar personally. DeMar is a pro. He's going to do whatever the team is doing. And to his defense and to Zach's defense, because you can't sit up here and blame, they're playing good because Zach's not playing. A lot of people are doing that now. And we live in a society now. What have you done for me lately?
People always want to assign blame. That's the big thing.
Yes. And you can't sit up there and blame these two guys for the way the team has played this year. I mean, there's a lot of blame to go around. They're ball dominant. guards. You know, they hold on to the ball a lot. And I think the reason why they do it is because that's you know, the coach wants them to do that. And then second, I feel like they in order for them to have a chance to win, they got to play that way.
Kobe made the top 10 ESPN for top place.
Hey, he's been great. He's been lights out. He's shooting at 50%
America,
of the last
America,
They assisted
America,
DeMar in the corner.
America. What did I tell you, America? What did I tell you, America? I
do-
don't like to toot my own horn, beep, beep. But all the time before he was even playing, everybody's like, trade Kobe, trade Kobe. Now look at him. Oh, we love Kobe. Oh, we can't get rid of Kobe. He's our best player. Yeah.
Let
You
me
better
buy a
start
jersey.
listening to me. Listen to me. I'm going to tell you. And I'm telling you the same thing about Patrick Williams. Don't give up on Patrick Williams. I know it's easy to, but don't.
We're going to talk a lot more Bulls later in the show, but right now I want to welcome in our special guest, our good friend, Mark Grote. He's back after a couple of weeks. Grote, thanks for joining us. I know it's a later time than usual. We appreciate you being flexible. What'd you think of the Monday night win over the Vikings? That was not an exciting game to watch, 12-10, but Fields did lead a drive that produced the winning points late in the game. Was that a big step forward for the Bears, or just the Vikings aren't that good?
Oh, can't hear Mark.
Can you hear him?
We're going to get that straightened out. I'll ask Stacey that question. Was it a good win, or the Vikings just not so
No, the Vikings were playing well.
Yeah.
They were doing really good with Dobbs. So I don't want to take any credit away from the Bears and say, oh well, Minnesota sucked, because they were playing well with Dobbs. You know, they brought him over from Phoenix. And he picked up the playbook. Didn't have a lot of time to study it, but he's a super smart guy. And they were rolling. They were doing pretty good. So that's a huge win for the Bears.
One thing I've noticed, especially since Matt Eberflus took over as the defensive coordinator, their defense is becoming pretty darn good. Last few weeks, they've been, top 10 in the league.
Well, I mean, that's something we've come to expect here in Chicago, that they have a decent defense. That's always been, since I've been here, they've always been good. And so it doesn't really surprise me. I thought early in the season, we talked about it, and we talked about it with Mark, is like, when are they going to get more pressure on the passer? And you can see what difference a pass rusher and Sweat makes. I mean, that guy puts pressure on the quarterback, which enables the cornerbacks to be able to jump routes and to be able to be a little bit more gambling when it comes to defense. So they're getting more turnovers, interceptions, fumbles. They look like the old Bears.
They forced 8 turnovers in the last couple of games, and that's really been the key to their success. We got Mark back now. Mark, can we hear you? Let's.
We still can't.
Oh man, we're gonna have to take the food away from D and everything else because he can't concentrate.
Man.
He's got things on his mind. We're not gonna go into any of that, but
Spilled his Coke on the board again.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man,
Grote is a good soldier. He's standing by, work late, and we can't get his audio right. I hear him. I hear you, Mark.
Now we can't see you.
You don't see me?
It's the old okey doke.
Yeah,
You guys have me now?
I hear you. Can you hear us okay, Mark?
There he
Yeah, I
is.
hear you
There
guys
he
now. I
is.
didn't
Oh,
hear
there
you
you are. There you are. Where are you, by the
You in
way?
East Bay Club?
I am in my home right now.
Oh, okay. I
Well,
thought
you got lockers?
some-
You got what's going on over there?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Actually, I just moved into a brand new condo in Oak Park, so I'm in my unfinished office right now. As you guys can see, the painting has started to take place. This is just a vision right now behind us, and maybe in a couple of weeks, this whole thing will look a lot better. But right now, we're in progress, John.
I thought you were in the Bears locker room or the
I
Elks
did.
Lodge.
I thought it was the East Bay Club. I was like, you at the health club. We got him off a treadmill to come do the show. Boy, that's dedication.
Well, good luck with the home remodeling. But we were talking about the Bears, forcing turnovers. The one thing I think that you can say legitimately about what Flus is trying to do with the team, he's trying to build a defense. The addition of Sweat helped. They have a good back seven. They have the makings of a very good NFL defense that can win some games. What's your take on their defense?
Yeah, well, and I started to answer the question that you asked about what did I think about the Minnesota win, the 12-10 win when last we were with our Chicago Bears heroes, and my answer was the only good thing really to come out of that game was, to your point, the Bears defense, and they are starting to show that this could be the start of a good defense, forcing 4 turnovers, 4 interceptions in that game, in each case, putting in the offense in a position to succeed. Of course, the Bears did not take the ball and run with it from a figurative standpoint. The offense scored 3 points off of 4 turnovers, which is basically a football sin. And it's amazing that they won the game. But, we are going to talk about progress in this season. And aside from Justin Fields and the offense and evaluating other positions, it is starting to look like the Bears have the makings of a good defense. Don't tell anybody, though.
Well, the one thing that I'm looking at Jordan Love for the Green Bay Packers, and they're I don't know who was their general manager. Someone came out and didn't really have a lot of confidence in him, and basically coming out saying maybe he's not the guy. They're going to look at different things.
Yeah, he said these next 10 games are critical.
Yeah,
for him.
And that kid has stepped his game up and said, you know what, okay, I'm gonna show you what I can do.
Yeah.
And then with a young receiving corp, I think they've aged a little bit over things. And you look at Justin Fields, Mark. What does he have to show you in these last few games, or what does he have to show the front office in these last few games? I thought he got off to a good start on that game-winning drive against Minnesota for the Bears to be able to get in position to kick that field goal. But what does he have to do to really say the Bears to be sold on him and say he's our quarterback of the future?
Yeah, I mean, more of that, and I'll be really specific here. As per that final drive against Minnesota, to which you just alluded, Stacey, the 36-yard pass to DJ Moore to put them in position to kick the field goal. You need to see more of that and not the essentially opposite, which was the 2 fumbles he had in the fourth quarter. Let's face it, the Bears got a little bit lucky in that game that Minnesota was doing some really dumb things as answers to the Bears, including not putting a lot of pressure on Justin Fields, but that's their problem. So more of that, more big-time passes in big moments. And still, Justin Fields has not shown an ability to really have a full grasp, pardon the pun, in terms of ball security. That's a big deal. So I want to continue to see his downfield passing game. One of the things that he has started to do well or better is to use his legs to find open guys as opposed to use his legs to run and then take the subsequent punishment. Even in that Minnesota game, honestly, in the first drive, it was very impressive because there were back-to-back plays where he used his legs and then made little flip passes, right up at the line of scrimmage. I thought that was impressive. And to me, that's the essence, of the way you want to use an athlete like that. It's not to take off and run on every play, but it is to elude and to buy time and to find open men. So I think that that's a big deal. And then a lot of the same old stuff, getting rid of the ball more quickly, continue to progress at reading defenses. So it's a lot of the same old stuff. But yeah, I think that in these final 5 games, those are things that I want to see. And I really want to see a focus on ball safety.
This is going to be a tough call for Ryan Poles because a lot of people who look at this just think that it's a question of, do you like Justin Fields better or do you like the 2 kids coming out of college, Caleb Williams and Drake May? I think that there's so many other factors that go into it. Namely, most predominantly is the fact that if you want to keep Justin Fields, you're going to have to pay him the going rate for NFL quarterbacks, which is in excess of $40 million a season. So when you look at the larger picture, if you zoom out, they have to make a decision of whether they want to invest in Fields long term because he's not going to take a 1 or 2 year deal. I think that's where a lot of fans get confused. It's really not a choice of who's better. There's a lot of business that comes into this in terms of salary cap and planning 2, 3, 5 years down the line. Which way do you think Poles is leaning right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think to your point, Mark, he's not Justin Fields does not look like a $200 million quarterback, and that's the going rate, the 40 mil though. They could still pick up the 5th-year option, sort of like they did with Mitchell Trubisky, and have him be in camp next year competing with whomever, whether it is one of those 2 quarterbacks that you mentioned in college or bringing in a veteran type of guy. Somebody on the score today mentioned, I don't remember which guest it was, but somebody mentioned the idea of bringing in Kirk Cousins maybe as a possibility. You draft a Caleb Williams or a Drake May, and then you bring in Kirk Cousins to be the quarterback for the next couple of years. Let somebody learn under him. But I'm getting off on a tangent here. What are the Bears going to do, to your question, or what might they be thinking? My guess is that they have their mind made up on Justin Fields, and I cannot see them giving the long contract. I think the only thing we don't know about Justin Fields, I think we know the limitations right now. I think we know that he's not a great quarterback right now, but we don't know. And what we're all trying to project is, can he still be that? Is Justin Fields a guy who is a couple of years away still from developing into that quarterback? And that's the part that nobody knows. So I think in part, if you whether you pick up the first year option or you try to re-sign him to an extension that is not the max quote unquote contract for a quarterback, I think that either way you have to make a projection. I don't know, maybe Ryan Poles' projection is that he's a $200 million guy. I tend to doubt it, so maybe you do something reasonable. And I think that I don't know what Justin Fields' camp is thinking, but there's no way that Justin Fields' camp can be sitting there thinking, oh yeah, that he's in line with the Patrick Mahomes of the world. That's just not realistic. So we'll see, and we'll also see what what does Fields' camp think? Does he want to be a long-term Bear? I assume he does, but we don't know that for sure. But I just think right now he's not a $200 million quarterback, and I doubt that Ryan Poles sees it that way either.
Well, and one of the things, Mark, that I've said about this kid is that the fact that he's had different offensive coordinators, through this short career here. Luke Getsy, in my opinion, he may be a great offensive coordinator. I haven't seen it. It's almost like he's afraid to let this kid throw the ball down the field. In crunch situations, it's screens, that can get blown up or, possible, something can happen bad for the Bears. Why do they not allow him to throw the ball down the field like these other young quarterbacks get to do?
They have let him do it more recently. But in the big picture question, it does make me wonder if they are just, to your point about the game plan against Minnesota, where it was just a bunch of screen passes. Look, Minnesota brings a harsh pass rush. There's no doubt about it. Brian Flores, their defensive coordinator, is well known for bringing the heat. It's the closest thing to the old 46 defense where you just bring in the noise on just about every play, except the end for some reason for Brian Flores. So I understand, like, in part what the game plan was all about in that game, but there does seem to be a fear factor of just really letting him loose and letting it rip game to game, and that would seem to tell me that Justin Fields has some limitations. And if we had a chance to talk to Luke Getsy, like being that's what I'd love. Maybe a couple of cocktails and Luke Getsy, and just have him, my guess would be, there's some things that he is limited on in terms of reading defenses. He's still not getting rid of the ball quickly enough, because my guess is, and I look, I'm not like trying to defend Luke Getsy by any means, but my guess is that if Luke Getsy and the rest of the Bears assistants and Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles thought that Justin Fields was capable of flinging it like that 30, 40 times a game, that they would do it. So it just makes me think that there is some limitations that they perceive that Justin Fields has still.
So that's why I say the lack of confidence in your quarterback. How does that make him feel? When you're sitting there and he sees these guys playing on Sunday and all these young quarterbacks are just throwing the ball all, even Zach Wilson, who's not as good as Justin Fields. How do you think that makes him feel, that the Bears have no confidence in him to let him use his athleticism to get him to do some things differently than just the typical things that they've been doing? Because as you just said, they're starting to open it up a little bit for him now. It should have been opened up from the very get-go. You got DJ Moore. You went out and got DJ Moore. You gave up a lot to get DJ Moore. You got these receivers. You got, more weapons around him. Your offensive line is not as good as it should be, where he should be out rolling out a little bit more using his legs. It just amazes me, and you just kind of wonder what Justin Fields' camp thinks. It's like, okay, you guys don't believe in me. You guys are ready to replace me with Caleb Williams. I don't even want to be here, because I hear his name being traded, like going to Atlanta.
Raiders too.
And I hear his name up a lot with the Atlanta Falcons, because he's from Georgia. And I don't know, I'm not a general manager, but I've heard a lot of that on the TV. So what do you think about that too?
Well, I think the trade stuff is interesting, because that is a possibility. I mean, the Bears could pick up the 5th-year option, and then they could possibly deal Justin Fields if they find that somebody wants to give up a 1st or 2nd round pick. I doubt it'd be a 1st rounder, but if you can get a 2nd rounder for him, if they really feel like he's not their guy, I guess that would probably be a pretty smart thing to do for the Bears. if there are takers, and I've heard those teams as possibilities as well. But one of the things too that I'll say is that Justin Fields, at one point in time, you guys remember it earlier this year when he did express through the media, through us, that he wanted to play more freely. That that turned into big hubbub, and he had to have another press conference to say that he wasn't trying to sell out his offensive coordinator. But he has expressed these things. He has expressed them. I think it's kind of complicated because last year Justin Fields has this historic season with his legs. Then we get to the end of the season, and all of the questions that we were asking, we in the media, to Justin Fields directly were, that was awesome what you did, but what about throwing the ball more? And Justin Fields even said, yeah, I'd rather have these records with my arm than I did with my legs. They came out this year trying to make Justin Fields a pocket quarterback, trying to be what you saw Jordan Love doing the other night, where he's standing there in the pocket and feeling the heat and then making plays. For some reason, Justin Fields is just not as comfortable being that guy, standing in the pocket and being the big arm. And he is a big arm quarterback. Don't take that away from him. But this is my long-winded way of saying some of this is on Justin Fields. He was given an opportunity to do that, and he just never felt comfortable. He was more into bailing out of that pocket quickly, as opposed to, again, I hate to be using Jordan Love as the analogy. It really kills me, to be honest. But watching him do that, he was doing some of the things that they desperately want Justin Fields to do. I think it's an amalgamation of so many things, but Justin has to take some culpability for this.
You must have chuckled the other day when Cole Kmet came to the podium and talked about winning out and finishing 9-8 and maybe sneaking into the playoffs. Pretty ambitious stuff there. I mean, you look at the schedule. I think there's a chance the Bears win 2 or 3 out of the last 5, which may push their pick out of the top 10. But right now everybody's looking at that Carolina pick, which could be number 1 overall. Ryan Poles is sitting in a situation where if that pick is number 1 and he trades down again, wow, could he bring in a haul? Because there's a lot of teams that are just infatuated with either Caleb Williams or Drake May.
Yeah, no doubt. And yeah, I think at this point, of course, you have to continue to look at the Bears draft position at 4 and 8. At this point, it's still a pretty sweet pick if you just had the Bears pick. But yeah, it's all about Carolina and their 1 win. And could it stay? Could they be a 1-16 team? It is very possible. And that would be an absolute blast if the Bears had the number 1 overall pick. And yeah, who knows what they would do with it then. I would have a really hard time seeing the Bears pass up on taking one of the quarterbacks, whomever it is, even if you do like Justin Fields. The Bears haven't had a quarterback since fill in the blank, name your guy. We could do that exercise all day. So I think it would be a bad idea, again, even if they did like Justin Fields, to not bring in one of those guys. As far as the schedule is concerned for these last 5 games, really the only gimme that I see on the schedule, or at least I perceive it as a gimme, is the home game against Arizona. Other than that, these are all tough games, man. Detroit at home, at Cleveland. Cleveland's a pretty good team, kind of a boring team, but they're a pretty good team. The Arizona game home against Atlanta. Atlanta has gotten a lot better. And then at Green Bay, and at this point, I can't pick the Bears to win at Green Bay, even though earlier this year it was trending that the Bears and Packers were both going to be bad. So we'll see. It's going to be fun to see, but this is not an easy schedule for the Bears in their final 5 games.
Okay, Mark, what's the running back situation look like? Who's starting this week? Who's out?
Well, I mean, I think that you use Khalil Herbert, probably going to be good to go. Deontay Foreman, I think, is going to be back in there. Roschon Johnson is fine, but we didn't get like the full injury report on Monday. Tomorrow, Wednesday, our first injury report of the week does come out. The only guy that, in terms of injuries, that Matt Eberflus was kind of specific about was on the defensive side. I know that's not what you were asking about, but Tyreek Stevenson, who missed the Minnesota game, is probably going to be back. He had been dealing with an ankle injury, and it looks like he is trending towards health against Detroit this Sunday.
All right, Whispers, you got some tips for Mark and how he can decorate those lockers behind him?
Oh, jeez.
Finally.
I don't know if I can help him out there. It reminds me of
just put a Elks Club sign or Moose Lodge or something.
It reminds me of when I was in trouble in high school, but that's a long story.
But I got to tell you, I don't mean to interrupt your decorating, but my sister-in-law has done everything in this place. Like, the place is beautiful. Like, she just figured, being a bachelor, she's like, I know you. She's like, you're just gonna get a couch and a TV, and you're gonna have
What
all
else
this
do you need? A refrigerator.
Yeah,
That's it.
yes. So I've got Christmas trees in this place. I got all this crazy stuff. So
balls are falling all over the place.
It's an edible arrangement.
I got a cat running around here who's
There you
knocking stuff around. I mean, I live alone, and this place is just chaos. I tell you.
Not even Charlie Brown's jealous of that tree.
Oh my goodness!
Wow!
Sorry, Mark.
It's all good. Yeah, no, that was very good. You're absolutely right.
I have one more Bears question for you. The Bulls made this huge mistake in the continuity thing. So you're looking at next year, and now there's this buzz about keeping Matt Eberflus and keeping this going, keeping Fields going. Yeah, that's what I call him.
He's been drinking some Edelweiss.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
Edelweiss.
Well, I usually call him Everlose and things like that. And
Everclear.
Flukes
Going back
gets
to
me,
couches.
all those kinds of things. But yeah, what's up with this continuity thing now they're talking about? Have you been hearing inside buzz about that?
You mean continuity, like with Ryan Poles, Matt Eberflus, Luke Getzey, like keep everybody?
Yeah,
as
Everlose.
opposed-
We're bringing the band back.
And Flukes gets me and all those guys.
Well, I mean, I actually like Ryan Poles. I hope they keep Ryan Poles. I'm on record as saying that. I think that 2 years is kind of a ripoff to give a general manager. You got to give a guy longer. And look, he's had you can go through the hits and misses column. It's pretty, on par with what the rest of the NFL is. So Ryan Poles has not been a screw up. And the thing is, like, right now, I think Matt Eberflus might even be coming back because now this all assumes, like, this is a good conversation because this assumes that if Ryan Poles has autonomy, if he has control, really has control over the head coach, there's a good chance that Eberflus is staying. If he doesn't, and Kevin Warren, who is the CEO, and George McCaskey, obviously above him, if they see it differently, if they're like, yo, Ryan Poles, you could stay, but we need you to hire a different head coach. That's a plausible reality as well. But right now, I mean, I don't know, maybe we're evaluating the wrong person over these last 5 games. Maybe instead of Justin Fields, it should be Eberflus.
Well, if we're evaluating you, Mark Grote, you're doing a fantastic bang-up job. So we encourage everyone to check out your work on The Score. Doing a great job covering the Bears, and I'll see you at Soldier Field on Sunday. Okay.
And I'm really digging that.
Excellent.
I'm really digging that Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
And Mark, did you get more hot sauce? Because it's all we can pay you.
He's drowning in hot sauce.
Well, he's got a new address. He's got a new address.
No, another
now.
box was sent. I didn't know he moved. So
Yeah, he moved.
But
Yeah.
there's
Did you send me another box?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Maybe I have it. Actually, I saw some boxes outside. Maybe I'm not in rhythm in this new place yet.
It wasn't Oak Park. I know that wasn't the
It was
address.
the East Bank Club.
So when I come into Soldier Field Sunday, I'll see you out front selling Stacey's hot sauce. Right? What can I get for a bottle of this great stuff here?
I just moved to Oak Park. It's pretty expensive over there. I'm trying to sell everything right now. Everything must go.
Now, you know what we do? We get, because they put a nice little spread of food out there.
They do.
You and I just go up there, sneak up there, and just drop all the sauce, like just kind of dab it.
Product placement is important.
You know what? And this is why Mark's a double agent. That's why this is his job, to go up there, drop bottles of our hot sauce on the table, and let people try it.
Oh, you got to try this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. Let's go to work.
Let's do that.
All
right.
We got a plan for Sunday. Win or lose, we're going to sell some hot sauce. All right?
Oh, hell yeah.
All right.
See you out there on Sunday, Shanowski. Gentlemen, take care.
All right, Mark. Thanks for joining us. Good luck with the new home.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Hey, I see on this rundown you guys crafted. You want to talk about Travis Kelce? You got some thoughts on that?
Oh, man. Yeah, I do have some thoughts on it.
Yeah.
And I know the Swifties are going to be looking for me. Okay?
Look out.
They might try to get me.
Don't be jealous.
Swifties, don't listen, Swifties. It's just my opinion, Swifties. I love y'all, okay? Okay, I love y'all, Swifties, so don't take this personal. She needs to stay at home.
Okay.
He just doesn't seem like he's been himself the last few weeks. And Pat Mahomes needs him because they're struggling with the receivers that they have. Now you're starting to see the effect of Tyreek Hill. Last year you didn't see it. You know, they were just running all over people. The Pacheco was killing, which set up the pass, and they were so much better offensively. And then you got to remember too, they got a different offensive coordinator. We all know who that is.
Matt Nagy.
Oh, God. He just came in and just destroyed.
Quarterback whisperer.
He's like a boll weevil. He just destroyed a cotton field, man. He's just eating up all the cotton, just tearing up everything from the inside. They do not look like the same team offensively. And for them to get beat by Green Bay, I know it was Green Bay's, that was a big win for them. But no one in their right mind thought they were going to lose that game.
No, right. You're right about that.
So there's something going on in Kansas City, and Vietnamese in Washington, and they look like a different team offensively. They've gone through a little spell there, but they look really good early on.
Yeah.
So you could just see Vietnamese being what kind of offense he was presenting last year, and they really miss him this year.
Sometimes organizations get a little bit full of themselves. They thought, well, we'll let Tyreek Hill go. We got Pat Mahomes. Everybody's going to be great catching passes from Mahomes, but guys are dropping passes left and right. I don't know if you guys saw lately the MVP odds. Tyreek Hill is in the top 5 now. He might get 2,000 yards receiving.
He should.
Yeah.
He's been phenomenal the last 2 years in Miami, and it's almost like he's playing. He's just like I always say, hooping. He's playing football, just out there having fun. He's got a quarterback that's going to get him the ball. He's just dominating guys right now. You can't even double or triple team him. He's so fast, and so that's the element that they really miss. A guy that can take the top off the defense at any time. They don't have that, and when they do have somebody do that, the guy drops it.
Yeah. They've had a lot of drops.
Wow, man. Get some stickum, baby. Go call Lester Hayes up.
But Cisco's got his finger up. What? Yeah. See?
When you come on, you say, dun, 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 breaking news, okay? That's what I want you to hear when you come on. You just can't just like slide in like a little 4-year-old just sneaking in.
Hey, Cisco said he's done some play-by-play in color for the
Yes,
ball.
he's doing for the
Good
ball.
him, man.
We were talking about this.
Yeah. Way to go, Cisco.
I want to try to get some video or some kind of footage of him doing the game so we can play it on the show, let people know. See, working, ladies and gentlemen, working for Gimme the Hot Sauce podcast has opened up many opportunities for our young workers.
Not just free sauce.
And not just free sauce, okay? And free beer, because the beer does flow, okay? But if you're looking to have an opportunity to further your career and you're looking to come on and try to, if you do, whatever you bring to the table of a podcast, if you do sounds, whatever. What else do they do, Tim? What else do people
Stand-up comedy?
Get me a beer.
No, seriously, if you're looking for an opportunity, we just want you to know it's for free. We're not paying anybody anything. But it's an opportunity for you to come in and really get some experience to be able to parlay that into somewhere else. We have sent a lot of our guys off doing things
to prison and other areas.
Oh my God. See, this guy's trying to scare people, okay? This is a very toxic environment. See, that's what I'm talking about. So if you're really looking for an opportunity, come just send us an email, send us a shout out.
Some great real life experience.
Yes, real life experience.
Give me the hot sauce.
But you have to have some experience.
Info.
You got to have some experience.
Info at GimmeTheHotSauce.com.
Yeah.
GIMME.
But don't just come on. We don't want somebody just come out the streets never done anything. You gotta have some experience doing something. You know what I'm saying? Went to school for it. Don't just come and shit. I was in a bar and I heard y'all say that anybody can come in here. Like,
I'm here.
Yeah,
here I am.
I'm here for the beer. I'm not here for the show.
Got no skills, but I can drink. Hey, let's take a break here. We're going to talk more Bulls and NBA when Gimme the Hot Sauce rolls on. Seriously, America, what did you think of Grote's place? Didn't it look like it was a locker room?
It did.
I thought it was the East Bay Club. Seriously, I thought he just got off the treadmill and he was just waiting for us in the locker room. And I was just waiting for some naked dude to walk by.
Man code violation.
Man code violation. Yeah, I was like, okay, does he have the room blocked off so like no one will walk by him with like butt naked? And no, come on, Mark.
I was looking for a hoodie and an old jockstrap hanging in there.
Oh,
I thought it was his high school reunion, maybe, so having a little throwback moment there.
Oh, man, Grote. That's my
hopefully
guy.
his sister-in-law can help him out. Because maybe he picked the wrong room. I don't know.
Yeah, well, he's got to be careful there. There's some hooks hanging out of the wall. He had Charlie Brown's Christmas tree.
Yeah, the Charlie Brown Christmas tree got me.
Yeah.
That little bitty tree got me. That got me.
He's wearing a camouflage shirt. He was ready for some action.
So hopefully Santa will bring him some nice things to furnish his apartment when Christmas rolls around in a few weeks. We started talking a little bit about the Bulls before Mark came in, and we got the update on what's going on with Justin Fields and the Bears. The Bulls, as we mentioned in that first segment, Stacey, they do look like a different team. And a lot of people want to jump to the conclusion it's because, well, Zach's not playing. He's, no ISO ball. It's a kind of a share the wealth offense. But this is what Billy wanted to do back in training camp. Play at a faster pace, change the shot profile. And unfortunately, it took 19 games before we're seeing really what he was talking about.
Well, here's what I would tell Bulls fans. Stop. don't put blame on anybody, okay? Because the blame can go all around to every single body, So let's just stop that. They're playing much better. And yeah, DeMar was out one game, Zach's been out 2 games, and the team has played better. But with the same token, those guys who are playing in the game right now, when those 2 guys are out there ball dominant, there's not a lot of ball movement. It's, I'm taking my man, I'm getting my shot or whatever. When those 2 guys are out, there's much more ball movement, more player movement, things that we call for every night on a nightly basis. Vooch played like Jokic, for the Bulls, that first game.
Against the Bucks,
he had 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 6 assists. He really was a catalyst of that. I thought Caruso played like a veteran, and those 2 guys stepped up and played really well, which took some pressure off the younger guys. And then Kobe did Kobe things, and Kobe's been playing phenomenal. He should be considered, NBA player, of the month at some point. The way he's been playing, he's put a string of games together, and the way he's shooting the ball, Mark, it's remarkable.
Yeah, and he was nominated for Eastern Conference Player of the Week because he's been shooting it at a tremendous clip. And, people always want to say, well, he's not really a point guard or he's not really
Man.
he's a guard who can score.
Listen. Every point guard in this league can score. There's the traditional point guard is Chris Paul. Okay. Everybody else is combo guards, guys that can score the ball. That's just the way the game is. And Kobe is no different. Kobe's 6'5". Kobe, to me, is one of the better shooters at his position as far as 3-point shooting is concerned. The stats don't lie. And now that he's getting an opportunity, this is all I've been saying with this kid from day one, is give him the keys to the car and see what you got. Let him develop. Last year he wanted to start. They didn't start him. I thought he played his handles and his defense improved last year. There's elements of his game, Mark, that improved. And so now he's put it all together. He's the one guy every night comes to play. And that's what you want to see out of a young player. You don't want to see him take plays off. He comes out and competes on the defensive end, the offensive end. He rebounds. He takes charges. He leads the team in charges. He's doing all the little things that contribute to wins. They just haven't contributed to wins.
And he's a guy who will take coaching. I remember we were doing the game in Brooklyn. He came over to the scores table before the game. And you talked to him for a little bit, encouraging him to, be assertive. Don't disappear in the fourth quarter and stuff like that. And for him to come over, respecting you as a 3-time NBA champion, to come over and say, what are you seeing? And that's a kid who wants to get better.
Yeah, both him and Patrick Williams, I've kind of given advice here and there to them because I really, really want to see those 2 guys succeed. I know they've taken a beating, from the outside, from the fan base. Patrick's a bust and all. No, he's not a bust. A lot of times they said the same thing about Lowry. Lowry's a bust. He's too soft. Look at Lowry now. We wish we had Lowry.
We had Lowry.
You look at Daniel Gafford and all the guys that we gave up that everybody was down on when they were here. You cannot, Mark, and I repeat this, you cannot just give up on young talent. Some of these kids come in this league, they're 18 years old. It'll take them 3 or 4 years. If you just base it off the college alone, it takes guys 2 or 3 years to really get themselves into position where they're the players that you think they can be. Unless you're a phenomenal talent like LeBron James or Kobe Bryant that come in from day one and dominate, very seldom do you see those kind of players. They have to be nurtured. They have to be cultivated. They have to grow. And Kobe's no different.
All right, so the Bulls have back-to-back wins for the first time this season. They've got a bad Charlotte team coming to town on Wednesday. Then you go to San Antonio, who's lost like a million games in a row. This is an opportunity for a 4-game winning streak, but with this team, I know you have to just focus on what's in front of you, not to look too far ahead.
Yes, Mark, I was just going to tell you, stay in the lane. Stay focused on one game. It's really good to win 2. The fans were at the game the other day. The energy in that building was incredible. And I've said this all along. You come out here and you compete and you play hard, whether you win or lose, fans respect that. They're paying a lot of money to watch you play. They want to see guys who care. They want to see guys that this matters to them. They didn't want to see what we saw in Boston, where it seemed like guys didn't care whether they won or lost, and that frustrates fan base. They're like, get these guys out of here if they don't want to play, So I think now what they're seeing is these young kids have brought a new energy to the floor.
Yeah.
And it's up to Billy to continue to play these guys. Billy's the one who determines who's going to play or not.
Because Iowa's been great lately.
Yeah. Yes. So, when you look at these guys coming off the bench, Torrey Craig being more offensive minded now instead of just defensive minded. You see Patrick Williams just starting to look like he's starting to be more assertive. The guy's getting dunks. He's
Drummond.
They're playing Drummond. We've always said about Drummond, you got to play him more. So now he's giving these guys some minutes, and Julian Phillips been getting some minutes. He's looked good in the little time he's been there. So now as you're starting to give these kids minutes, their confidence grows. And now you're starting to see like, hey, you know what? I got guys over here that are hungry to play. And if you're Billy Donovan, if you got guys that don't want to come out and give you 100% effort and they're not playing hard, they're kind of dogging it, you got to sit them down and say, you know what? I got a lot of guys here that want to play. If I'm going to lose with guys that are going to compete.
Speaking of energy in the building, you guys watched the game yesterday in Indianapolis with the Celtics and Pacers. I mean, I was a little bit skeptical about this whole in-season tournament thing. I'm like, are the pros really going to get behind this? When the money's on the table in the last game, yeah, it'll get behind it then. But I'm thinking, it might fall kind of flat. That field house was unbelievable in Indianapolis. And I'll tell you what, the way they played with Obi Toppin and Halliburton, I mean, that was an impressive performance by the Pacers to beat Boston.
Listen, the Pacers are real. I don't know if people are starting to buy into them because they score a lot of points and they give up a lot of points. But what you're starting to see over the last couple of weeks, they're tightening their defense. Rick Carlisle is a defensive coach. He was not. I knew that Rick Carlisle doesn't want to play 150-point game. Okay, so I knew at some point, he's letting them play their game. He's letting them go out and have fun. But I can see now that he's tinkering with the defense a little bit and say, hey, guys, listen, scoring 145 is nice, but we're giving up 140 or we're losing games by giving up points. So we got to start tightening defense up if we want to be taken serious. So I think the last few games and playing Boston, that playing game, they took it to Boston. I know Porzingis didn't play, but it didn't matter. I mean, they'll run you out the gym. I mean, seriously, if you're not in condition and you're not used to getting back defensively, they're getting the shot up mark. I think they timed it at every 8 seconds.
Yeah.
So their pace is super high. It's the highest pace in the game. And then you got a point guard in Halliburton who's playing like an MVP candidate. He's out there orchestrating things, no look passes. And then you get Obi Toppin. The New York Knicks right now have to be kicking themselves that they get. This is why I say you can't give up on young talent. This guy was a lottery
Thibs
pick.
didn't want to play him.
This is a lottery pick. And you got a second-round pick for him and a bag of Doritos. And now he's starring for the Indiana Pacers, averaging about 15 points a game. You tell me the Knicks couldn't use that guy right now?
Oh, they sure could.
But
Any team could use a guy
But
like
this is
that.
the problem with these coaches is that they spend too much time. They have their favorites, and they're going to ride their favorites. Whether it's a veteran or not, they're going to ride their guy. And they worry about what a guy can't do. Oh, he's not a good three-point shooter, not a good rebounder. The sign of a good coach is, what can he do well to help me win? And if you focus on those things, that's one thing I learned from Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson didn't worry about what you couldn't do. Okay, Phil Jackson's like, how can this dude help us win championships? How can I put him in a position to succeed and his skill set help us win? He's not going to put you in a position to fail. Great coaches are not going to do that. They're going to put you in a position to succeed. And, Thibodeau's not like that. He doesn't like young players. If he had his way, he'd play none but old players. And that's why they run out of gas at the end of the year, because he plays like 6 or 7 guys. And he still hasn't learned that.
We're recording the show today on a Tuesday night, and we've got the TNT monitor going on right now. And the Bucks are hosting the Knicks. And this isn't your grandfather's NBA. The score at halftime, Tom Thibodeau, the defensive genius, 75-72 Milwaukee at halftime. So Thibs' team gave up 75 points in the first half. And what you're saying, he's got a lot of young players on that team. New York has the potential to be really good, but you wonder if he's the right coach for this group.
Well, my biggest thing is I think he is. He's still coaching it like he always coached. And I thought, like, when he had that time off in between, losing the job with the Bulls, sometimes you have time to reflect. He was out for a little bit. He had time to reflect. And, Thibodeau's old school. And I could play for Thibs. I would have loved to play for Thibs, but this new generation of kids have a hard time playing for him because they want things a certain way. They don't want to work hard. And Thibodeau's going to demand that you work hard. Now, the one thing I will say about Thibs that I think is an issue, Thibs just doesn't play young guys. I mean, we had Jimmy Butler on the bench. Jimmy was playing 8 minutes a game as a rookie. And now Jimmy is one of the best players in the league. Had you played Jimmy earlier, who knows this team? Maybe the team is totally different, but he was getting ready to get rid of Jimmy. He wanted to cut Jimmy. If it wasn't for Pax, see, everybody talk about Pax, everybody, Pax this, Pax that. Pax is one of the reasons why Jimmy still stayed a Bull, because Thibs wanted to get rid of him after his first year because they felt like he needed a veteran in that position.
Yeah, it's crazy right now. The NBA has kind of been flipped on its head. A lot of teams are coming on that are young and are hungry. You look at Oklahoma City and Sacramento. How about the Minnesota Timberwolves? They're near the top of the Western Conference.
I wish we could go back and find on the show where I said Minnesota. Keep an eye on Minnesota to start the season. We're going to have to find that for next week. But I said that. I said Minnesota is going to be a team to watch. You got rim protection in Rudy Gobert. You got a young superstar player in Anthony what's his name? Edwards. And you got a Karl Anthony Towns. If he can figure out and relinquish the stardom to Anthony Edwards, that team can be pretty scary. You got a veteran point guard in Mike Conley. Mm-hmm. They got all the pieces to be very good. And so it doesn't surprise me that they're playing well. Now, do I think they can win a championship? No. Do I think they can make some noise at least the second round? Yeah, I think they can. When you look at the rest of these young teams, and this is where the Bulls are in a dilemma, because the two oldest team in our division, Central Division, is us and Milwaukee. Okay, right. The difference between the two is Milwaukee's still a championship aspiration team. They got Giannis, they got Dame, so they're still playing for the golden ball. We're not. We're not in position to win a championship. Let's just be honest. I'd be sitting up here lying and saying, "Oh, we're a championship team." We're not. So you look at the teams in our division, they've rebuilt. They went out and got younger. Cleveland's younger. Indiana's younger. Detroit's younger. So you got teams that are now ahead of us. Those teams were taking them on the chin, because you're going to lose some games when you're young. You're going to lose some games. Look at Orlando. I told you about Orlando a couple years ago.
They've been great.
I told you. I said they're going to be a team to watch. I think they're peaking too early. I thought, another year they would be like, next year would be the year but they got a bunch of kids that played international, that, they've been on some good teams. They know how to play, and they all love playing with one another. There's no egos. They just got Jonathan Isaac back, which is a huge addition. If I was a veteran team that wanted a lockdown 4, a 3-and-D, 3-4 guy, I'd go get Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah, Orlando had like an 8 or 9 game winning streak before they lost the other day. They've been playing some really impressive basketball. We mentioned the teams in the West with Sacramento and the Timberwolves, even the Pelicans. The Pelicans beat Sacramento last night, so they're advancing to the semifinals of this in-season tournament. And a game coming up later tonight between the Suns and the Lakers. That's going to be fun to watch. So kudos to Adam Silver. He knew what he was doing. I think the point differential thing will get thrown out next year.
Yeah,
cause some hard feelings.
But
other than that, it's been a lot of fun.
And Adam Silver, if you listen to me, you can take this idea too. You can say Stacey King gave you this idea because I gave you the quarter point idea, and I'm giving you this idea. This is the kind of tournament you need to put on at the end of the season for the teams that are fighting for the lottery pick.
Yeah, people would
love to see that.
You're competing for that first
for the fan base who's not getting into the playoffs. Yeah. You give them something to play for. Every team has a chance to get the number 1 pick. Whoever wins that tournament of the lottery teams gets the number 1 pick. There's no more balls. There's no more ping pong balls. None of that. You have to earn. You have to play for it. Yeah. And then you would the same kind of response you're having out of the in-season tournament would be triple for that. Because people would tune in to see that.
Especially if you got a guy like Wembanyama, who's a generational player, as your prize at the end of the game.
Yes. And I mean, that team, think about this. Wembanyama could be a team playing in the playoffs in that tournament. And they could get the number 1 pick. And now you got him, and you can't say it's not fair. You can't say, oh, it's not fair. San Antonio got there. If San Antonio went out there and earned it in a tournament style, in a tournament style game, then they deserve it. That's how you win. I mean, if you want the number 1 pick, go get it.
Yeah.
Go get it. If the Bulls are in there and we're in the tournament, we got a chance to go do it. And every year you do it. Every year. And whoever wins, first place, second place, third, and that's the order that you get.
So there you go, Adam Silver. We're here to help on Give Me the Hot Sauce.
So when this comes up, America, you remember Stacey King said this. Stacey King created on Give Me the Hot Sauce
We
podcast.
know you listen every week.
That's right. Adam's over there listening.
He loves the product. He loves the hot sauce.
Adam's like, wait a minute. That's a great idea.
You know who else loves the hot sauce? Our guy, Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
That's right. Mark, I was really sad last Sunday because I'm a Swiftie. No one knows that.
You're a Swiftie?
That's right. I tried to get her to redo my famous album, Walking in a Winter Wonderland, to do some Christmas songs, and she turned me down because you
were creepy.
Yeah, a little too creepy.
Little old man.
No, it's because she's spending too much time with this Kelce character instead of focusing on her music like I do. So, nonetheless, in my sulking, I went ahead and made some biscuits and hot sauce because that's what I do when I'm watching Sunday Night Football. So, if you
comfort food, right?
That's right. I don't know if I was that comfortable, but nonetheless, if you want some of the sauce and you're feeling a little down because of your Swiftiness, then go ahead and get to GimmeTheHotSauce.com and use one of the codes. There's free shipping. There's free sauce. Just put in walking Q, walking fire, and get some sauce. Get some gifts for your friends.
It's the holiday season. You want to have it on the table.
It's the gift of giving. I don't give anything out at Christmas, but it's because I have no friends.
No friends.
This
I
is
can't
true.
believe that.
This is true.
What about whispers?
I noticed a long pause, Mark. Apparently, I get no card from you either. So thanks.
I was watching the basketball game. I got to be honest with whispers.
I don't appreciate the honesty because I won't see a card. I know what's going on.
Well, I tell you, that Beasley can shoot. He just drained another 3. Man.
Yeah, Thibs giving up over 100 points. It's not even the end of the third quarter. Anyway, we're going to talk about the big controversy in sports this week. It's the college football playoff, the 4 teams selected. Everyone has an opinion. We will share ours next on Gimme the Hot Sauce. Welcome back to Gimme the Hot Sauce. You know, a lot of sports fans root for chaos when it comes to these college football playoffs, but I don't think anybody really wanted to see exactly how it shook out over the weekend because Florida State, a team that finished 13-0 in the ACC, gets left out of the 4-team playoff, mostly because their starting quarterback, Jordan Travis, was injured, and he's the guy that makes their offense go. They had an ugly win over Louisville in the ACC championship game, and that may have played into it some. Then Alabama knocked off the team that had been ranked number 1, Georgia. And, you know, Stacey, we were in New York when Alabama got that miracle win against Auburn. They should have had 2 losses and been gone. So what was your take on the 4 teams that got selected?
Listen, America, I know we don't like it. I know Florida State should be able to get in there, but they would have got dog walked.
Most
Seriously.
likely, yeah.
America, listen, I know y'all like, oh, they were undefeated. They had no shot against any of those 3 teams there. Those 3 teams would dog walk them, okay, without Travis. Travis was huge for them. I mean, he's the thing that really made their offense go. But again, they went undefeated. They should have been there. Even if they got dog walked, they should have been in there. But Alabama, to me, and did you see Michigan's reaction when
there was a gasp in the room.
You talking about somebody was scared?
Yeah.
They was like,
They're thinking, we get to play Florida State. We get to play
Florida
Florida State.
Everybody was all happy. And now Michigan will play Alabama.
Yeah.
This is terrible. Well, how did they get in?
It's a travesty.
They're a one-loss team. They should be. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah,
they
gotta play who's in front of you.
Yeah, they didn't want that. They didn't want that. But Alabama beating Georgia, and Georgia's not Georgia that we saw the last 2 years they won the national championship, but they're still undefeated, and they're still Georgia. They still have that swag as being a great football team. What the heck?
Cisco's playing around.
Oh, Fran.
He's trying to do a roll tide thing.
He putting NASCAR wheels on there, man. Put on roll tide.
He's trying.
He's trying. He's struggling. You give somebody.
If you guys are looking to join a podcast,
and you want to
got any technical background,
you want to handle the sound effects of this. There it is.
There's the Michigan. Yeah, that's the meeting room.
Wow.
Can't hear the audio though, Fran.
You could hear
it's silence.
Wow, that is pretty dramatic.
Hey, you talk about some people that don't want that smoke. Michigan don't want that smoke.
Yeah.
SEC, listen, at the end of the day, Mark, you knew there was going to be an SEC team.
There had to be.
Okay, and you had to put Alabama in there because Alabama, they lost, and that's why I said, we talked about this last week. The key is losing early. If you're going to lose early. The first 4 or 5 games of the year, you can always come back from that.
That's what Alabama did.
That's what Alabama did. They beat everybody. Now, if you stack Alabama and Texas together right now, I believe Alabama beats Texas. I do believe they beat Texas. I think Michigan's the only team in that group that can beat Alabama. Because they both should be playing in the finals, to be honest with you. So it's going to be a good game. But if Alabama beats them, you can forget it. No one else has a chance because they're on a roll right now.
You were going to say something, Whisper?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's they're talking about this whole, best 4 teams or whatever.
Yeah.
But come on, Michigan's the best team, and this whole hype on Alabama is a little overhyped in my opinion. They've squeaked by some games. You'll get margin.
But they controlled the game against Georgia Saturday.
Yeah, they did, but Georgia has no offense. So now you're looking at you're looking at Michigan. And how they can roll with that offense, and there
really isn't a dominant team.
They're actually a little bit healthy though. They were a little bit down a couple weeks ago. Michigan was, they're back healthy again, I'd put my money.
Okay,
on
first of
Michigan.
all, this
Are
guy
we gonna
never,
usual bet,
this,
guys?
This guy never watches
One
college
crispy
football
bun.
anyway. He just
I
watched
do.
Northwestern. He didn't even know Northwestern won a game 2 weeks ago. Oh,
I did,
think
but
did they win? Let me look on my schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't take you
Yeah, now
seriously.
they got a bowl game.
Okay,
They're
me
playing
and
Utah.
Mark,
I'll be
are the
there.
experts when it comes to.
I'm gonna be in
sporting
Vegas.
events, 'cause we actually
Watch
it.
the games.
Okay, this guy comes up.
Oh, wait. You guys were watching Northwestern games?
Nobody watches
Yeah,
it.
I watched it.
I'm not watching them.
Oh,
They
okay.
suck.
Yeah, but now they're going to be in a bowl game.
Yeah,
They're playing Utah
They're playing
in
in
the Las
toilet bowl.
Vegas
And now I've
They're
changed
playing
my
the
mind.
Las
That's
Vegas toilet bowl,
Sportsman of the Year.
and they're playing for the
And-
turd
and
trophy.
should
What are
get-
they 6 and
should
6?
get the ESPN or I mean whatever it is.
What are they 6 and 6?
7-5.
Oh, they're
Yeah,
7-5.
7-5.
Oh wow,
Yeah, they smoked it at the end there.
Beat Illinois last
I
week.
think the
Knocked
coach
Illinois out
David
of a
Braun
bowl.
should be a Sportsman of the Year because you take
Sportsman of the Year.
Oh,
Yeah, you
I think
take-
it was between him and Deion Sanders that Braun finished second.
Yeah, and who did better? Who's got a bowl game? See
Listen,
my point? You just
listen.
validated for me. Thank you, Mark.
I'm just gonna say this. I'll be glad next year when they expand it.
Yeah,
Then
12
there's
teams.
no argument. There's no argument. But this year, I feel bad for the Florida State fans because you did everything you were supposed to do. Even with a backup quarterback, you stayed undefeated. And I know it wasn't pretty against Louisville because Louisville lost the week before to Kentucky. So that might have had something to do with it too. Louisville's not as strong as their records showed, and they're playing in the conference championship. So that might have hurt them. But at the end of the day, they were undefeated. You could only do what you could beat the teams that's in front of you. They did that. They should have been allowed. It would have been embarrassing, but all the people who were complaining for them to be in there would have been saying, why were they in there? They didn't deserve to be in there. They sucked. The quarterback was out. Why would y'all put them in there? They got beat, 72 to 6. So you can't be on both sides of the fence.
Well, the edict is though it's the best teams not deserving, and they got to stick to that.
Well, I know. I mean, Oklahoma should have been there. You're talking about the best teams.
So now it's
I thought you went to Georgia. What happened?
No, I went to no, listen.
Michigan?
Listen, no. See me in a couple of weeks.
yeah. You'll have a new hat in a couple of weeks.
See me in a couple of weeks. I'll tell you where I went to school.
I got to change my lid one more
yeah,
time.
yeah, one more time.
So now as teams get ready for the bowl games, it's already the transfer portal season. You guys see that the Ohio State quarterback, McCord, is going in the transfer portal. They'll be looking for a new quarterback. I bet you they go after the Manning kid, Arch Manning.
The quarterback who's just quarterback there this year?
Yeah, he's transferred.
What year is he?
He's got 1 year left, I think.
Well, our quarterback left too.
Dylan Gabriel
Dylan
left.
Gabriel
Oklahoma,
left. He
too,
went
yeah.
to Oklahoma. He followed the offensive
So
coordinator.
it's like, whoever can get the best NIL deal and the best opportunity to win is just
Even
they just
Dr.
go.
Pepper has jumped into it now. Have you seen the ad?
Who?
With the transfer portal. Yeah.
What is that? It's a transfer portal.
I mean, it's gotten almost out of control now.
Fansville.
I mean,
Listen,
Well, schools should not be allowed to pay. That's
and nobody
insane.
wants to play in the bowl games anymore. Either they're transferring or they want to go pro and they don't want to get hurt. So that's really kind of crippled the bowl games.
All the NU players will be there.
Yeah, they'll be playing. They'll be suited up.
I just listen, man. The portal has been good, and it's also been bad.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be able. I've seen some guys be in the school 8 years now. You shouldn't be able to be in school 4-year program 8 years.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And they have to have some kind of cap on it where you can't leave every year. I don't like this program, I'm going to this program. I don't like this program, I'm going to this program. No, you got to. I mean, I saw Oklahoma basketball team the other day, and they were playing USC when we were. I don't remember where we were, but we were on the road, and I was watching them play USC in the championship in a tournament in San Diego. Oklahoma's roster is completely different than it was last year.
Change
Everybody left, and they brought in some new people. And I'll tell you what, we're undefeated. 7-0.
So it works. The transfer portal works.
Keep getting that
You're a big
transfer
fan,
portal.
yeah.
Keep transferring to Oklahoma, baby. Woo! Go Sooners.
So I see the Sooners are playing in the Alamo Bowl against Arizona. What's your prediction on that, Stacey?
Pain.
Pain
Well,
for who?
wait a minute. I don't know. No, we don't got
Arizona?
Dylan. We don't got Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
That's a different
So you're playing
story.
your backup
But
quarterback.
we have a freshman quarterback who's supposed to be a stud. And if I'm Brent Venables right now, I'm on the phone right now talking to the Mannings. Like, hey, look,
I'm going to go
we
68
need-
to 10.
Because did you see Texas the other night? Texas gets into, they beat Oklahoma State like they just beat them like a drum. Oklahoma State sucks. They shouldn't even been in there. Oklahoma should have been in that spot. And if you're Oklahoma fan,
There it
if
is.
you're Oklahoma State fan and you're listening to this, yeah, I said it. They suck. They shouldn't have been there. It was a bad representation for the Big 12. They should have put Oklahoma in there. They should have had someone else in there that could at least compete.
And bring
Okay.
back the Expos too, right?
Yes, bring back the Xbox, the cool hats. Okay,
It is a good hat.
So
It's a beautiful hat.
So my thing is like they brought in Arch Manning with like 40 seconds to go
Yeah.
to like, and you already made him use his red shirt, which sucks. Like he's
He's
already
going to Ohio State next year.
I don't care, man. It's just the fact that you
Is
made
he?
him.
Yeah.
You use his red shirt.
All the
and-
green bean casserole you can eat.
No, he's going to Alabama.
Nah, he's going to
He's going to
Ohio
Roll
State.
Tide. He's going to Roll Tide. They just had a picture of him talking to the Mississippi State coach. He was visiting Mississippi
He
State.
ain't going there.
Hey, I'm telling you, the SEC, baby. All the Mannings with the SEC. I'm just telling you
That's
right
true.
now.
That is true.
All the Mannings
Yeah.
with the SEC. And he is going, if he transfers, he's going to the SEC because that quarterback from Texas, Ewers, is coming
Ewers,
back.
yeah.
And then the kid that was the backup is going to be back. So he'll be back in the same situation, 2 years wasted in that program by being the third quarterback. And so he's going to go somewhere where he can play. And in Mannings, if you listen to me, give me a call because we can use him in Oklahoma.
Brent
He will,
Venables,
hey,
yeah.
he will win the
He'll set you
Heisman
up.
Trophy
See what
in
you guys
Oklahoma.
see. What you guys don't know is we're gonna pull out some of that Northwestern money.
Oh,
We'll be
yeah.
right
No one's
here.
coming to Northwestern. No one's
And
coming.
we got
no one's
this
coming.
is
You guys
the
are having
third-
tryouts. You guys
third
are having
largest-
tryouts at the Y.
the third largest dowry for NIL.
Okay, but you're not. No one's coming here. No one's coming here.
You're gonna be
anymore.
surprised.
Does Zach
No.
Kustok have some eligibility left?
I
Yeah,
think he's got
exactly.
one more year. We can bring him back. The guy
It's
was
just like
he's an
it's
improviser.
It's just like
And
Ted,
his-
Ted
his-
Williams.
and
Bring
his
him out the
sis-
cryo. Put his head back on.
His sister's gonna be the kicker.
There you go. She can handle it too. There's no
Yeah,
question
she
about
she
it.
might be able to win some games for y'all.
There you go.
Oh, just by looking at her.
Wow.
It's late in the
I'm
show.
sorry.
Be careful, Whispers.
Yeah,
you don't want to be
Oh,
making
Wow.
comments that you'll regret.
Yeah.
oh shoot! I'm sorry. Well, the network fired me.
All right, it's time to move on to America's favorite segment.
Oh my God.
What are we watching? Do we have a sponsor for that, Fran?
Sponsored by Give Me the Hot Sauce. Hot sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have a new sponsor coming up.
What's that?
A nootropic company that is sending us some samples because apparently they listen to our podcast and they think our synapses are not firing fast enough. So apparently,
I don't know anything what you just said, but I'm all for it if they're going to pay.
Well,
That'd be
that's what happens. See?
See, he is with big words.
Yeah.
So the synapses are not. I'm like, what are we talking about?
Well, see, that's the problem. When you go to NU, you say some big words and mess people up, right?
I thought he was talking about a smoke shop. or
I did
something,
too.
man.
I
Well,
was like, I'm all for that too.
well, what we'll do.
I'm
well,
all about the smoke shop, baby.
Well,
You gonna bring us some CBD? Oh, I'll tote up on here.
well, next week we'll go Snoop Dogg. The week after that, we'll go Andrew Huberman, and we'll
We
see how
got
it
Snoop
works.
Dogg right in front.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right in front row.
And we'll see what the difference of this show is with some analytics.
Whispers, always looking for an opportunity. We
Oh,
appreciate
my
that. So,
God.
Whispers, what do you got for the folks? You got a recommendation?
I've been watching some strange stuff, but
Well, that's not surprising.
so first, like on the Dr. Death series on Netflix, The
Okay.
Bad Surgeon. True story about this guy that was putting plastic windpipes in people.
Ooh.
Why? What's the purpose?
He convinced the globe basically that you soak this plastic in stem cells
Mhm.
that you could replace windpipes. Every patient died this horrible, miserable death.
Is this a true story?
True story. And you watch it and you're just, how does this happen? And
But why would anybody have to have windpipe surgery?
could be from an accident, could be from esophageal cancer, could be from
So was this all experimental? Like they said, we don't know how this is going to be, but if you're
no,
willing
no,
to try
no.
it,
He said he did all the research and stuff at Karolinska
Oh.
in Sweden, which is a
oh,
very famous hospital.
he went to
And,
Northwestern.
yeah, he did.
Oh. See. Don't trust anybody from
They're,
Northwestern.
they're evil
America.
people.
Evil.
Yeah. So yeah, and then of course I watched Elf as I always do every Christmas.
You stole that last week, too. You can't do it 2 weeks in a row.
I watched it 2 weeks in a row. That's what I do. I'll
Mm.
watch it again next week. I'll bring it up again.
Okay.
Bye, buddy.
Oh my God.
Hope you find your dad.
Hope you find your dad.
Oh my
Go
God.
ahead.
Stacy, bring up the tempo here. We're dying to slow
I'm
down.
watching AMC Dead City, part of the spinoff of The Walking Dead.
Why is
And,
everyone getting murdered in what you watch?
Listen, man. Okay, listen. I don't sit here watching windpipe murders and all that stuff.
That's
okay?
real though.
I do watch Dateline with my man Keith Morrison. I like him. Keith Morrison's cool. I'm just waiting for him to come in here one day and it said, Timmy Whispers is missing. Do you have anything to do with it? No, Fran did.
There's a dumpster behind the building.
The first 48.
We found his head in there. We found his head over in the dumpster behind the building, a leg over here. Did you have anything to do with it? No, I didn't. But Dead City, America, if you like Walking Dead, check it out. My man Negan was one of my favorite characters of the show. Love Negan. He's in there with Maggie, and they're in New York City. And so it's a spinoff of Walking Dead. It's really good. Check out AMC.
Yeah, and I like a lot of the history series. There's one, a short one on Netflix. It's called All the Light We Cannot See. It's set in World War II in Paris with a young blind girl who's actually sending signals to the Allies for bombing locations. And the Nazis are in strong pursuit of her to try to shut her down. And this is near the late stages of World War II. It's a really well done show. It's only 4 parts. You want to check it out?
She's blind and hot, huh?
Wow. Wow.
Indeed.
We just lost another sponsor, Mark. Wow.
See how I try to drag Mark in? He
Also
he just-
like to watch stand-up comics. Watched Nate Bargatze, Tennessee Kid. That was good
I've not seen that.
on Netflix. So you got any recommendations on stand-up?
I've not watched one in a while, and but Stacey and I are overdue. You got to
Yeah.
join us, Mark. Go to
Yeah.
the Improv.
Definitely.
Yeah. When's Ari's coming
Yeah,
back?
we need to go. I think
Make it a show
I
trip.
think Jeremy Piven's coming up in there, and then I've got a lot of Saturday Night Live guys are coming there, like Jay.
What about Rappaport?
Jay Farrell.
Both those guys are supposed to be coming on the podcast. So let's,
Yeah, they're coming on the podcast. Listen, we're gonna get back to our guests. We're gonna get back to our guests, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about that.
Joseph Sikora on, talk about Force.
Yes. Oh, Tommy
Yeah.
Egan. Oh, Tommy
It's
Egan.
a great
if you're out
season. Great.
Hey,
Did you
listen,
finish it?
Yeah, I finished it.
Yeah.
I watch it. I watch it religiously. I watch
Yeah.
all of them, all the Power series. So, yeah, we got Joseph Corey from Illinois.
Yep.
He's from Chicago, and so we're gonna have him on the show and talk about his show and talk about some of the other things. You know, he was in Ozark too. Did y'all know that?
Yeah. I remember seeing
Yeah.
him in Ozark. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been in a lot of stuff that you wouldn't know.
order placed. They use the holiday code.
Very nice.
Oh my God.
That Christopher Walken's a hell of a
Yeah,
salesman.
well,
How can you resist that pitch?
And finally, someone used it.
Hey, speaking of sales, we neglected to mention one of our sponsors earlier in the show. We apologize for that, but we do want to tell you about our good friend Jeff Vukovich. When it comes to insurance for your auto, home, and business, make sure you contact our good buddy, the nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. You can reach him at jeffvuk.com. That's jeffvuk.com. The phone number 847-825-4783. Tell him the guys at Gimme the Hot Sauce sent you, and I'm sure he'll make sure he gives you an extra
I
benefit.
talked to Jeff earlier today.
Did he
and,
scold you?
He did.
Yeah.
For
Well, that's okay. You probably deserved it.
He did, but he's in Arizona right now, and he will be attending the show here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, that'd be great.
So it's time for to come in, have a
Bring him
brewski,
in.
and
Yeah.
have a chat with us here and join the show. So
That'd be a lot of fun.
He's ready.
If you want to be treated like a king, call Jeff Vukovich.
That's right.
He'll treat you like royalty, baby.
There you go.
that's-
Stacey's got all the talking points, baby.
That's what we talked about today. So
And
thank,
remember, Nationwide is on your side. Woo!
Yeah, late in the show, you get the extended version, the album cut.
Yeah, the album cut. Yes.
And is Mike out in the parking lot, or did you drive yourself?
Yes, Mike is back.
All right.
Mike is back. His back's hurting again from the double mid twins and the
Big Red?
and the big red girl.
Yeah.
She's a girl. She's one. She's big red.
does he film it?
Wow. I'm
See, you
okay.
got to cross that line all the
You
time.
always, you got children watching the show.
Yeah.
I'm done, man. I'm done talking to you.
It's not a PG show.
No, no,
Get
no.
ourselves.
I'm getting ready
There's-
to read the read.
there's
now.
no Disney
You're
in
done.
here.
You're done. Stop.
Full
Windy
stop.
City Limited provides the championship service.
Take 2 for Stacey on that street.
Making a reservation is so easy as a slam dunk. Let Windy City break the full court pressure and traffic and get you to your destination in style and on time. Contact Windy at 847-916-9300, 847-916-9300, or visit WindyCityLimos.com and ask for Mike Amaroff,
That's right. Best in the business.
best in the business.
I thought Whispers would get a throat punch there. Pretty close.
He never
Yeah,
brought up. He
yeah.
never brought up my favorite,
Oh,
juicy fruit.
It's got to have some relevance. Juicy Fruit doesn't fit in that.
Never-
scenario.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
It's just funny. There's sometimes you don't need one.
Oh, man.
It's just funny to say it.
Where's Byron?
He
Yeah,
said he'd
the
be
salty
back.
fan.
We'll be back next.
Oh, Byron, give you a little shot, Byron. Where you at, boy?
He was still angry last week when he left.
Ah!
Can I get you another beer, Mr. Kelly?
All right, I gave him $5. It worked.
Hey, we want to thank our great crew. D doing a great job. Cisco, he's been doing some play-by-play for DePaul games over the university, doing some great work there. I want to thank our guest Tom, who came to say hello and watch the show tonight, and thank all of you out there for listening. We have a new show coming up next week, so stay tuned. And Stacey's going to crank the Rolodex. And
What's
come
up with
with a new
Fran's
guest.
tight pants, though? He went from the tight shirts to the tight pants. I don't know what's going on there.
Wow. You know what? Listen.
Leave the jokes to Stacey. Come on now.
Fran,
environment.
Fran, they're not tight, Fran. They're not tight, Fran. They're not tight, Fran. They're not tight. Don't listen to Tim. Don't listen to Tim.
You see him
Hey,
looking like what?
Listen. They're not tight, Fran. They look good on you, Fran. They look good on you,
There you
buddy.
go.
Hey, anyway, just remember, we a special shout out to all the people listening to the show. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we
Keep
do.
listening, keep subscribing, and drive home safe in Chicago. Beep, beep.